What's up everyone, my name is Andrew Fung. Welcome back to part 3 of the CRM Telegram bot series with Notion API. So just a short recap of the last video, we have successfully connected our Telegram bot to our Notion page, CRM page, which we can load and add our users. So this episode will be focusing on loading all the usernames inside this Notion page and then do a simple user authentication based on the different status of the users and sending them customized messages. So without further ado, let's get started. So now that we are connected to the Notion database page, we can move on to the next step, which is designing some custom messages for each user. So for example, if I have this user here, based on his status that is pending, then we will send them information for product A. And for user A, which has the status of closed, we won't send them further information for product B because his status is closed. What we will do is to just redirect him to our admin to contact for assistance. And for lead, this will be generated by the users that is not within this database but contacted the bot. So let's do that now. So to get all the users' username, we will need to query our database. So this will be the path. It will be a post request with the database ID and also the query endpoint. So let's do that in Notion now. So just get request just now. So we can change this to post request. And then after the database ID, we can type query. And we will also need to pass some payload. So for payload, it will be some kind of customization on how you want the results to respond. So for example, the page size is 100, then it will return us with at least 100 users within our database. So let's go to body and raw. We change this to JSON because it will only accept JSON format response. So we can type in a payload, which is copy this first, 100 page size, and let's try send. So as you can see, we can receive the database information. So we can parse it one by one. We can see status, the properties of status. It is a select. For product, it's also a select. And for users, it is a title with text. So we got all the objects here. So for this user, yeet will be yeeted 69. This will be the first object that is created inside results. So we can close this one now, and you can see the next one is also a page. So for Notion, each entry is actually a page. So when you open this, you can see it expands to the page. So each entry within the database is a page. So that's why the object is called a page. So within results, we should have 3 results, which correspond to the 3 entries here. So what we do now is to mimic this post request and do it inside code. So let me go back to Visual Studio Code, and we can first define a function called that will load all the username from the Notion spreadsheet and return a dictionary. So Python dictionary, which in the format of selected product, status, and also last but not least, the page ID, which correspond to the entry page for this expanded entry for this user. So let's do that, implement that now. Define load username. Okay, so the URL will be this one. Copy this. So URL equals this URL, and then the payload equals the page size, 100 page size, and the headers we'll just go and copy and paste from the official documentation. So we just copy this part and paste. Slight formatting issue here, so response equals URL. So for the data return, we can turn it we would just want the response.text, because when you see this part, this is only the text response. So instead of getting all the status 200 and all those kind of unrelated stuff, we can just define to be just the response.text. Okay, now we will turn the JSON string back into a Python dictionary. So we can do parsed JSON.loads data. Okay, so now we will go ahead and create the username dictionary. So username dict equals an empty dictionary. So for each entries inside results, we're just concerned with the result for now because of the username objects. So for each entry inside results, we'll like to check whether it has a name, a product selected, and also check its status. Whether there's any missing value in either fields, we will not add it to the username dictionary. Take a look at user, and then for product, we will take a look at the select, and for status, we can also take a look at the select. If there's nothing there, then we will move on to the next user. So what we can do is for entry in parsed results, so this will go into this level right here, so it should be a list. So if the entry, so we can first check its username, whether it's empty or not. So we move on to results, properties, user title text. So this should be user title. So if entry properties user title, then we'll check its status, check its product. So if entry properties, this should be product and select. Then we will check its status. So this should be the same except for this part, which is the status. Okay, so if it passes all the requirements, it's not an empty field in any ways, then we will do username dot dict. So we will pass in its username as the key. So that will be user title and then text content. Okay, entry properties, user title, and then inside title. That will be the first because title is in a list, so it will be the first object, and then text content. So that will be the username. Okay, equals to a tuple. So username, selected product, a status, and then page ID. So inside status, inside product, select and then name. Okay, product, select name, comma, and then just the same for status. Select name, and then the last one will be the page ID, which we'll put on inside URL. So this part. So it is outside of properties. Close this. Should be just URL. So yeah. So entry URL. Okay. So let's return this dictionary. And this will be the load username. So now we move on to the customized message. First, we need to check whether this user is in our database. So we can first move this outside the text, because when we start the bot, we will be using this command of /start. So that's the default start option for each bot. We can first load in the customers equals the load username for the function that we have just created. We get the Python dictionary, and then if the text dot lower, so we first check whether text is inside item. So some of the users may just send photos or files or other Telegram objects instead of text message. So we will first check if text is in item. Then we will do the following action. First is to check if the username. So we have already got the current username. So if the username is in leads, or should we say customers dot keys, so they will get all the keys inside the customers dictionary. So if it is inside keys, we will first print out its username or the objects inside username. So username, and then the following will be first checking its status. So inside our page we have 3 status, which is pending, closed, and then lead. So lead will be generated when the user is contacting the bot without previously approached by the admin. So it's not within the page, it is automatically generated. So we will first deal with this 2, pending and also closed. So okay, so if the customers username. So this will return us with a tuple of that user. So the status should be in the second one, in the second object. So it should be 1 if it is equals to pending. Then we will send them the product information. So we can do sending product information, or should we say sending its selected product information. So change this to an F string, and then we will check the first item should be the products selected by that user. So that will send a message. So elif the customer's status is closed. Then we will change this message to another one, which is your previous contact or your previous request has been closed. Please contact the admins for further information. Okay. Else we would do return us with the message of unknown user. We can try and hit save. So remember to also return for each ending or actions. Before you push your changes, make sure you also included the authorization of bear token, so that you will actually get results and connect to the Notion page. So make sure it's authorization, and then paste in the token, which is bearer secret, and then a comma, save. So now let's test out the new bot and see if it responds to the Notion page dynamically. So let's do start, and it is sending product A information. So as you can see, because our status is pending and its product is product A, so it's sending product A information for this user. So let's change our product to B, and let's do that again. So it changes, and let's just create a new product to see if it responds well. So product D, enter. So let's do start, and it does update itself. So when it changed our status, so let's see if it works. When it changed our status to closed and do start, so it says our previous request has been closed. So let's do lead and see what happens. So it shows that unknown user, so please contact the admins for further information. Okay, so it works. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial. In the next episode, we'll be focusing on actually sending the files and documents or in this case the selected product information to the customers that they are concerned with, and possibly adding an admin role for adding customers to the admin page. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more content like this, and thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye guys.